Till now, the U.S. Air Force had published only a single concept art of the B-21 Raider bomber. But as the development is taking shape, new renders have been released. On January 31, 2020, the U.S. Air Force, along with Northrop Grumman, released 3 new renderings of the B-21. All 3 of these feature the same artist concept of the aircraft, photoshopped into real pictures of hangars at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, and Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. Viewers may note that in March 2019, the Air Force announced that Ellsworth would be the first place to host an operational Raider squadron. The B-21 Raider is envisaged to be a super stealthy bomber which will be able to penetrate the most sophisticated air defenses for decades into the future and be able to take out high-value enemy targets without the rival even knowing it was there in the first place. The bomber will have a very long range and high payload capacity to carry conventional and nuclear weapons. B-21 is expected to replace the U.S. Air Force's aging fleets of B-1 Lancer, B-2 Spirit, and B-52 Stratofortress strategic bombers, which have an average age of 27 years. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why America's upcoming B-21 stealth bomber can't be matched by Russia or China. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. B-21 is being developed under the Long Range Strike Bomber (LRSB) program. A request for proposal to develop the aircraft was issued in July 2014. On the 25th of October 2013, Boeing and Lockheed Martin announced they're teaming up for the LRSB. The other participant was Northrop Grumman. On the 27th of October 2015, the U.S. Department of Defense awarded the development contract to Northrop Grumman. The deciding factor in the selection of the Northrop design was cost. The Air Force plans to purchase 80 to 100 LRSB aircraft. The initial value of the contract is $21.4 billion, but the deal could eventually be worth up to $80 billion. Aerial denial and anti-access (ADA-2) systems deny U.S. forces the ability to come within hundreds or even thousands of miles of an enemy's territory. Today, these high-end capabilities are being developed and deployed by countries like China and Russia, but they will soon be available to others as well. These capabilities include advanced integrated air defense systems with long-range engagement capabilities, able to target and shoot down aircraft from hundreds of miles away, as well as increasingly capable ballistic missiles that can put America's fixed installations and even U.S. carrier strike groups at risk throughout an entire region. A country with a strong ADA-2 capability has basically created an invisible fortress wall that can be pushed out thousands of miles from its territorial borders. The most potent example of this is S-400 Triumph. The S-400 is an anti-aircraft weapon system developed in the 1990s by Russia's Almaz Central Design Bureau as an upgrade to the S-300 family. It's been in service with the Russian Armed Forces since 2007. It can track 300 targets simultaneously and engage 36 of those at any one time. S-400 is a fatal threat to everything except the most advanced stealth fighters and bombers. This basically renders all the fourth-generation fighters like F-16s and F-18s obsolete. Russia is also developing S-500, which is being built especially for countering stealthy aircraft. This is where B-21 Raider will come into the picture. The B-21 will be a critical part of America's air power in the future, as it will be able to take on these current and emerging AD-A2 capabilities of the rivals. B-21 will be very much an enabler for other air combat systems. It will fly deep into enemy airspace to take out the rivals' AD-A2 capability and render them partially defenseless. Apart from tactical and strategic bombing missions, the Raider is expected to be able to conduct surveillance, reconnaissance, intelligence, and electronic attack. U.S. Air Force had revealed the concept art and designs for the B-21 sometime back. The new B-21 Raider looks very similar to its B-2 Spirit. Actually, it will look startlingly similar to the original Advanced Strategic Penetration Aircraft, ASPA, and the later Advanced Technology Bomber concept from the 1980s that ultimately resulted in the B-2. B-21 Raider will go one step ahead of B-2 Spirit when it comes to stealth. Initially, B-2 Spirit was designed for high-altitude penetration missions, but the Spirit was redesigned later in the game to operate at low altitudes. The redesign caused a decrease in range and payload, as well as a larger radar cross-section. B-21 will have no such limitations, and its stealth characteristic is intended to not only elude higher-frequency engagement radars that allow air defenses to actually target an aircraft, but also counter lower-frequency surveillance radar, which, though can't be used for tracking, can be used for detection. Invisibility to lower-frequency surveillance radar is important too, since though these cannot be used to guide the missiles, they can be used by the enemy to direct warplanes to the vicinity of B-21 for a possible interception. B-21's super stealthy profile will be made possible by three enhancements. 1. A refinement of the external contours will be done. Stealth aircraft like B-2 is designed so that there's no sharp edges or protruding elements and has smooth curvature. The weapons are also carried internally. This kind of design deflects the radar signals away from the emitting radar, and it doesn't receive back the signals. This way the radars are basically blinded. Though B-2 is very well designed, 2 decades later there's a scope of significant improvement. 2. Even with the stealth profile, some radar signal can't be diverted away from the source. This is where radar absorbing material, RAM, comes into play. RAM covers the external parts of the aircraft so that radar signal is absorbed and don't reflect back. B-21 will use new RAM that will utilize state-of-the-art coding technologies. 3. B-2 has an engine that's internal to the airframe. The idea of this design, along with different methods of exhaust control, is to reduce the heat signature. This makes the aircraft have more or less similar thermal profile as the surrounding air, and it doesn't pop up when an infrared (IR) sensor tries to detect it. The B-21 will have more efficient engines that run cooler and will have a better way to cool down the exhaust air. The overall better thermal management will make its IR profile much better. Apart from this stealth, the avionics, sensor suite, and weapons package all will see considerable enhancements. B-21 is designed so that it can accommodate new technologies as they become available. Incorporating stealth technology in aircraft is very hard. Russia's Sukhoi Su-57, its first stealth aircraft, is witnessing massive delay. Viewers may note that the Su-57 program had the backing of India. India was looking for a customized variant of Su-57 for its Air Force and had put in significant funding. India wanted to acquire around 150 jets. In April 2018, India pulled out of the project. The main reasons were engine issues and unconvincing stealth characteristics. Indian experts were of the view that the aircraft was fundamentally flawed when it comes to stealth, and it couldn't be rectified with minor tweaks. Many analysts have pointed out that Russia doesn't have precision engineering capabilities. This can be observed easily. There are a lot of gaps between flaps, as well as between the rear vertical tail and the fuselage. The aircraft also has the nose bolted on the main body with rivets sticking out. This kind of unevenness drastically affects the stealth profile. China's Chengdu J-20, which is developed to an extent by stealing data of F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, is also having its own share of problems. Reports have emerged that a Sukhoi Su-30 MKI of the Indian Air Force managed to detect the Chinese Chengdu J-20 jet fighter. Indian Air Force Commander Arup Shah said, "The Sukhoi's radar can see them. The new Chinese jets are not so invisible after all. No special technology is required to detect the J-20, as it can be detected by ordinary radar stations." This has ignited debates that the J-20 is nothing more than a decorated 4++ generation fighter. It's interesting to note that while the main rivals of the United States, Russia and China, have not fielded an operational stealth aircraft till now, the U.S. has fielded 3 already: F-22, F-35, and B-2. This clearly demonstrates the lead the U.S. has when it comes to stealth technology and will not be matched anytime soon.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.